For my storytelling speech, I'm going to be doing Stephen King's It from the point of view of Pennywise the Clown. I'm going to be doing part of the book where Pennywise attacks each of the kids, like based on their own fears individually. And I'm going to go through each kid and how I, Pennywise, plan to like attack them and torment them and get in their head. The audience for my speech would be a group of evil spirits, like kind of like it's a haunting convention, like a TED Talk sort of deal. So Pennywise, me, is going to be talking about why he's the best or most evil spirit of them all, and how he got this award, I guess. And he's just going to go through what all he does to each kid and what makes him this, truly evil spirit. So a little background before I get into my, speech. I want to go through each kid and kind of tell you a little bit about them. So there's 7 kids. There's Bill, Beverly, Ben, Richie, Eddie, Mike, and Stan. Bill, he's kind of the leader of the group. He feels guilty for his little brother Georgie's death because Georgie wanted to go out on a rainy day to go play, but Bill didn't want to. He was feeling kind of lazy. He just wanted to stay home. So he sent Georgie out, and Pennywise ended up killing Georgie that day while he was gone. Bev is the only girl of the group. She's kind of the glue that holds everybody together. She's scared of her abusive father. That plays a key point in this story. Ben is he's the fat boy of the group. He's terrified of bullies. He's kind of the inventor. He likes to build stuff. Richie is known as the cool kid in the group. He's known for comedy. He kind of uses that to fit in with everybody. Eddie is kind of the freak of the group. He's scared of the world, scared of diseases. He kind of keeps everyone in check though. Mike is Mike's known as the historian of the group. He's the one that stays in Derry, Maine. That's where everybody's from. So he kind of brings everyone together in that sense. And then Stan is just kind of an extra person there. We don't get too much into that right now. I'll get into that later. I should probably tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Pennywise. I've been around for a few centuries now. I take the shape of whatever fear that I'm trying to attack. I can change into whatever I want. I like to be a clown because that's what really scares people nowadays. I need to eat once every 27 years, and I've chosen these 7 kids as what I want to eat because they look extremely delicious, and they're as good a choice as any, and I feel that I can, tear their group apart and really get to them, and I feel like they'll be an easy target. So now, I, as Pennywise, will tell you how I will attack each of their fears individually and how I'm going to get into their head and try to eventually get them all to tear apart from each other. So with Bill, I'm going to get into his head when he's kind of on the street near a sewer on a rainy day on his own. I'm going to have a paper boat float by him down the road because that's what I got his brother with. His brother was Georgie, and he went out on a rainy day because Bill didn't want to play, and so Bill helped him, build a little paper boat. And so Georgie went down into the street, and Bill didn't go with him. So I attacked Georgie, and I got him into the sewer, and they haven't seen him since. And so with Bill, I'm going to use Georgie's voice in the sewer to make him think that, he's down there to get him close. And then I'm going to tell Bill that, it's all his fault that his brother's gone. I'm going to really get into his head, because he wasn't sick. He wasn't actually, he just didn't want to go out. He just didn't want to go play with his brother for one day. So if I'm able to get into Bill's head, I'll be able to tear the group apart because he's kind of the leader. He's kind of what brings everyone together. So if I can get into his head, I can start tearing the group apart by themselves. So to attack Beverly, it's going to be in her house, in her bathroom. And I'm going to start out, I'm going to portray her dad. And she has an abusive father. so she's already scared of him. So I'm just gonna kind of start yelling at her, and she's gonna run into the bathroom. And then after she runs into the bathroom, I'm gonna be banging on her door, yelling at her to let me in and stuff like that. And then once she's in there, kind of hiding away from me, her father at that point, I'm going to have kids' voices be like screaming through the sink, and that'll make her go closer to the sink. And then I'll have hair shoot out and grab her and attach onto her, and then I'll have blood start spraying everywhere so that she gets really scared. But she'll be the only one that can see this. Her father won't be able to, so he won't believe her. She'll think she's going crazy, so it'll start to get in her head, and I'll start tearing them apart like that. So for the little fat boy Ben, I'm going to use a school setting because he already doesn't like school. So I'm going to be acting as Bev in detention, and Ben will come in. He'll have been sleeping through class, and then I'll wake him up as Beverly, and then I'll kind of shift into myself, the clown, and I'll chase him from the classroom down to the basement. That'll be the first place that he goes, and then I'll find him down there, and I'll scare him, and he'll come back up, and he'll run into his locker. So once he gets in there, I will be at the back of the locker so that he can't see me at first, and then I'll pop out and I'll chase him out of the locker, and I'll call him. I'll just belittle him. I'll call him fat. I'll call him a loser. I'll ask him if he wants some candy. I'll just keep making fun of him, and that'll be the way that I get to Ben. So to attack Cool Guy Richie, I'm going to meet him in the park when he's all alone. He's already scared of being seen as gay, so I'm gonna kind of, I'm gonna use that to my advantage. I'm gonna ask him, "Do you want me to tell everybody your dirty little secret?" And he's already scared of clowns, so I'm just gonna portray myself, Pennywise, and he'll already be terrified. And so I'm gonna turn into a very large version of myself. I'm gonna have a bunch of, red balloons, and I'll come flying down to him, and I'll have everyone in the park chanting Richie Tozer All Dead Rock Show, because he's scared of dying with everyone not knowing him or not caring about him, stuff like that. So I'll do that, and that'll get to Richie. So for Eddie, his mom pretty much already controls him. He's scared of diseases and sickness. His mom makes him think that he's sick, so he gets a inhaler full of just water, just full of salt water. So he goes to the pharmacy to get that. So I'm gonna use that as a trap. I'm gonna have his mom's voice coming from downstairs, so he'll go downstairs thinking that it's his mom. He'll be walking down this long, dark hallway with a curtain at the end of it, and he'll get up there. He keeps hearing his mom's voice, and I'll have his mom strapped up to a chair behind there, and in the corner, she's, all terrified because there's this thing over in the corner, and so the thing starts walking closer and closer to him, and I'll have, his mom will be strapped down, so she can't do anything. She'll be asking, Eddie, come on, get me loose, and Eddie will be freaking out because he's not good under pressure, and this thing under the curtain just keeps walking closer and closer, and then the curtain falls off, and it's a zombie. Eddie's already terrified of disease and sickness, and the zombie's just full of them. So the zombie will keep walking closer and closer, and it'll freak Eddie out, and Eddie won't be able to get his mom loose, so he runs away. So the zombie comes up and it eats his mom, starts eating his mom, and Eddie would be running away, and next thing you know, he turns around, and zombie's chasing him, and he stops, confronts the zombie throws up all over him, but he'll be all freaked out, and he won't be able to do anything. So for Mike, there's not much that I know about Mike. I know he works on a farm for a butcher. He brings meat to restaurants, so I think that's where I'll get him. I think I'll get him when he delivers his meat down an alleyway to a silver door. I'll have him riding by the door, and he'll hear movement next to the door, and he'll see the door kind of squeak open a little bit, and I'll just have a bunch of, monster hands reaching out, trying to grab him, but he'll run away, and I think that'll be good enough to get to his head. And finally, for Stan, I don't even have to worry about Stan. Stan's already scared of me. I don't have to get into his head because I'm already there. He won't be able to cut it. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed my version of Stephen King's It from the perspective of Pennywise the Clown.